Hello students, good morning everyone. Welcome back our chemistry online class. Next week we have midterm test, right? So this week I am not going to teach anything. Just we can revise our portion. Okay? So which lesson we are discussing? Unit 10, right? What is the topic? Matter around us. Okay, Unit 10, that is matter around us. Are you remember anything? What are the topics we discussed under this lesson? Matters, right? We studied about the matters and its classifications and elements, compounds, homogeneous, heterogeneous, mixtures, right? Homogeneous, heterogeneous mixtures and some separation techniques also we studied, right? So first we can see about matter. What is matters? Anything in the world that has mass and occupying space is called as matters, right? Anything in the world, maybe living things or non-living things that has occupying space and that has mass is called as matters. Okay, and this matter is classified into two types. What are they? Can you say? Yes, pure substance and impure substance. Okay, matter is classified into two types. What are they? Pure substance and impure substance. This pure substance is classified into two types. What are they? Elements and compounds. And impure substance is otherwise called as mixtures. Impure substance is further classified into two types. What are they? Homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Right? These elements. What is elements? It cannot be broken into simpler substance. Elements means any one atom. Okay, atom, smallest particle. So these atoms we cannot be broken into simpler substance. Example for atom, any atoms. Example for elements, any elements name you can write. Okay, here what they are giving, for example, copper, oxygen, hydrogen. These are the things they given for example. You can, whatever you know, you can write anything. Okay, hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, silver, gold. These all are example for elements. Okay, and compounds. Compounds just opposite for these elements. Here elements what we studied cannot be broken, right? Here compounds, it can be broken down into elements by chemical reaction. So using the chemical reaction, we can break these elements. Okay, we can break the compounds. Okay, example for compounds: water, sugar, salt. Okay, and sodium chloride, silver bromide, ammonium hydroxide. Lot of examples you can write. Okay, and impure substance. Impure substance, that is homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous means that is a uniform composition. Okay, lot of examples we discussed about this homogeneous mixture, right? Sugar plus water, salt plus water. So when we mix it together, we cannot able to see that sugar particles separately or salt particles separately, right? So that is a uniform composition. Okay, see the example: sugar plus water and water plus alcohol. Okay, and see the heterogeneous non-uniform composition. When we mixed wheat flour or rice flour in water, you can see the difference, right? That wheat flour will be settled at the bottom. Okay, so here you can see two layers. One is water layer and another one is flour layer. So you can find out that is a non-uniform composition, that is a heterogeneous in nature. See the example: sand plus sugar. When we mixed sand plus sugar, you can identify which is sand particles, which is sugar particles. You can identify, right? So here also you are seeing two components. So that will come under heterogeneous. Okay, and see the next example: water plus oil. Okay, have you understood? The next we are going to discuss about these elements. Elements are the building block of materials. Studied, right? See, elements are the building block of all materials. This is the 1 mark question. Okay, dash or the building block of materials? Elements. Okay, and you know, in modern periodic table contains how many elements? 118 elements, right? Modern periodic table contains how many elements? 118 elements. Out of these 118 elements, how many elements are naturally occurring? 92. Okay, 92 elements are naturally occurring, and remaining 26 elements are artificially created. That means maybe they were preparing in laboratories. Okay, so 118 elements are present in periodic table, 92 elements are artificially created, 26 elements are artificially created. Okay, and one more question. Who used the name element who used the name element? Robert Boyle. Okay, who used the name element? Robert Boyle. So next we can discuss about compound. See, compounds. How the compounds are formed? Two or more elements combined together to form a new substance. Okay, two or more atom or element combined together to form a new substance. That new substance is called as element. Okay, example for elements, some examples they given in your book. Sugar, cane sugar. Okay, it contains what are the elements? Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, not only cane sugar, we can write some other example. Water formula, you know, H2O, right? So H2O, it contains how many elements? Hydrogen and oxygen. What are the elements? Hydrogen and oxygen. So compounds means two or more elements combined together to form a new substance. That new substance is called a compound. Okay. So students, next important question, write the difference between elements and compounds. This is the important book bag questions, you know, right? So elements and compounds. So you can only 3 differences are given in your book. Very easy. You can easy to learn, right? So see, elements. Okay. Elements are made up of only one kind of atom. Okay, elements are made up of only one kind of atom, and compound, see, it's made up of more than one kind of atom. And see the second point, the smallest particle that retain all its properties is the atom. Here the elements are the smallest particle, right? So that smallest particle even can show that the properties of atom. Okay, for example, if you are taking hydrogen, okay, so hydrogen is the smallest atom. Even small point hydrogen atom even can show their hydrogen properties only. Okay, so the smallest particle that retain all its properties is the atom. And see the compound, the smallest particle that retain all its property is the molecule. It will show its properties of molecule. Okay, based on that molecule it will show the property. For example, if hydrogen and oxygen combine together to form a water, it will show that molecule property. It does not show hydrogen property. You know, hydrogen is a gas and oxygen is a gas, right? So it does not show that particular element property. It will show that molecule property. Molecule, it will comes under water, right? So it will shows that water properties only. Have you understood? Okay. Then see that third point, it cannot be broken down into simpler substance. Already we learned this point, right? Elements cannot be broken down into simpler substance. And compounds, it can be broken down into elements by which method? Chemical method. It can be broken down into elements by chemical methods. And see the examples for element. Any element example you can, any element's name you can write here. Hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, any element name. Okay. And compound example, water, sodium chloride, any 1 or 2 examples enough. This example must want to write, because in the book bag question they asked to write difference between elements and compounds with the example. Like that question they asked, you know. So for this element, this example for 1 mark. So don't omit this example. You must want to write it. Okay. So now we studied this elements and compound. This is very, very important question. Book bag question. Study thoroughly. Okay. And next we discussed about mixtures. right? So mixtures, one activity given in your book. See, this is iron and sulfur mixture. Okay, you know this iron is this black color, this ash color, and this sulfur is a yellow color. Okay, so when it was mixed together, this we can say this is a mixture. Okay, but when we heat this mixture, it will changes into black color, that is a iron sulfide compound. Have you understood the difference between mixture and compound? So mixture means it contains two or more substance. Okay, compound means it is a single substance. It contains iron and sulfur, but after heating we got a single substance. Okay, so mixture means it contains two or more substance. Compound means it is a single substance. Okay, you know, and here one more question also you want to learn. So what is the color of iron sulfide? What is the color of iron sulfide? Black in color. Okay, the color of iron sulfide is black in color. And see, one more question. Blood is not a pure substance. It is a mixture of various components. Okay, so did the blood is pure substance? No, it is a impure substance. Okay, blood is a impure substance. It is a mixture of various components. What are the things present in blood? Platelets, red and white blood corpuscles, and plasma. You know, right? And see the difference between mixture and compound. So mixture, what is the first point for mixture? It contains two or more substance, and compounds, it is a single substance. See the second point, the constituent may be present in any proportion. So mixture means it can be present in any proportions. Okay, it don't have particular it don't have constant proportion. Any proportions we can mix it. Okay, but compounds, the constituents are present in definite proportion. It need definite amount, that particular amount. Okay, if you are taking water 2:1 ratio, like that, definite proportions we need. Okay, and see the third point, they show the properties of their constituent. So it will show the property for that mixtures property. Okay, mixtures properties means now only we discussed about iron and sulfur. When we mixed together, we get the property about sulfur property and iron property. Okay, so they show the properties of their constituents, but compounds, they do not show the properties of their constituent element. It's completely different. It's completely new substance, no? So it will shows that new substance property. Okay, and the last point, the components may be separated easily by physical method. So using the physical method, we can easy to separate out. Okay, we can easily separate it. Here the components can only be separated by one or more chemical reaction. So using the chemical reaction, we can separate out the compounds easily. Okay, have you understood this mixture and compounds? Then important question, mixtures. Mixtures, it is classified into two types. What are they? Homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. And homogeneous mixture is classified into two types. What are they? True solution and alloys. Heterogeneous is classified into two types, that is suspension and colloids. Okay, so what is homogeneous? A mixture in which the components cannot be seen separately. So salt with water example, here we cannot able to see separately. These types of mixture is called as homogeneous mixture. Okay. Okay, see the heterogeneous, a mixture in which the component can be seen separately is called a heterogeneous mixture. So here we can see the components separately, but homogeneous we cannot see the components separately. Okay, so have you understood the difference, homogeneous and heterogeneous? Homogeneous means we cannot see the components separately. Heterogeneous means we can see the components separately. Okay. For homogeneous, they given some example about this homogeneous. See, tap water, milk, ice cream, air, sugar syrup, lot of examples given there. One or two examples enough. Okay, one or two example you can write. Okay, see the heterogeneous example. It does not have a uniform composition and properties. Soil, a mixture of iodine and common salt. So this is one of the example. Soil. Okay, so soil is a mixture of what are the things? Iodine and common salt. And see the second example, a mixture of sugar and sand. Third example, a mixture of oil and water. So lot of examples here also given. Any one or two examples enough. Okay, this picture no need to draw. Okay, this is the homogeneous difference between homogeneous and heterogeneous. So next we are going to study about separation methods. Okay, some separation methods. So are you remembered what are the separation methods we discussed in last class? Yes, sublimation, then centrifugation, solvent extraction, simple distillation, fractional distillation, chromatography method, right? So totally 6 methods we discussed, right? So sublimation. Sublimation means certain solid substance when heated change directly from solid to gaseous state without attaining liquid state. So any solid substance when we heated, it directly change it from solid to gaseous. Okay, lot of examples we discussed. Are you remember anything? Can you say any one example for the sublimation? Yes, camphor. Okay, so camphor directly changed the solid to gaseous state, right, without attaining liquid state. This is called as what? Sublimation. Okay, and one more thing, when the vapors it's changed into, it converted into gaseous state, right? So when that vapors was collected and it was cooled, when we cooled this vapors, it will come back into solid state. Okay, we can see through one experiment. See, this is the sublimation experiment. Okay, in this experiment, see, this is a inverted funnel, this is china dish, this is burner. Okay, so in this china dish we are taking ammonium chloride salt and sand mixture. Okay, ammonium chloride salt and sand mixture, and this china dish was covered with what? Funnel, inverted funnel, and the end of the funnel was closed with cotton plug. Okay, with cotton. When we heat this substance, this contains ammonium chloride and salt, right? So when we heat this substance, ammonium chloride gets evaporated. It gets evaporated. Okay, so that vapors are settled. We've closed with funnel, right? So that vapors are settled inside this funnel. Okay, so that sand will be settled at that china dish. Okay, and again when we cool this vapors, okay, when we cool this vapors, again it will come back into ammonium chloride salt. Okay, this is sublimation experiment. Okay. Okay, next separation technique is centrifugation method. So in this centrifugation method, what we are going to separate out? The fine insoluble solids from a solid liquid mixture. So we are going to separating fine insoluble solid, very minute particles. Okay, so see, this is the centrifugation machine. Okay, this is centrifugation machine. For example, if we are taking blood sample in this centrifugation tube, these are the centrifugation tube. Okay, so if you are taking blood samples in this centrifugation tube, on this a centrifugage rotates at very high speed, right? So on being rotated by centrifugal force, due to the centrifugal force, what will happen? Heavier solid particles would be settled down and the lighter particles remains at the top. Okay, so we took blood samples, right? This blood contains some cells, blood cells. Okay, so here this blood cells will be comes down and the liquid blood will be present at the bottom. Okay, this is centrifugation method. So centrifugation is the process by which fine insoluble solids from a solid liquid mixture can be separated in machine called a centrifugage. Okay, you know this centrifugage rotates at very high speed. On being rotated by centrifugal force, heavier solid particles move down and lighter liquid remains at the top. Okay, and this centrifugation method is used in milk dairies to separate cream from milk. Okay, and it is also used in washing machines. In the washing machine, what principle it was using means it is used to squeeze out water from wet cloths. Okay, and centrifugation is used to separate blood cells from blood samples. Okay, and next separation method is solvent extraction method. So you know this is a solvent extraction apparatus. Okay, so this is a separating funnel. Okay, separating funnel. In this separating funnel, we have to take two immiscible liquids. Immiscible liquids means both are liquid but both does not mix together. Okay, so see, this is water and this is kerosene. So this mixture we have to take this separating funnel. Shake it well. After a few minutes, when you see this separating funnel, you can see the two layers. One is water layer and another one is oil layer. Okay, and after that you can open this knob. You can open the stopcock and you can collect that water separately. Okay, this is solvent extraction method. Solvent extraction method is used in pharmaceutical and petroleum industries. Okay, it is used in pharmaceutical means to prepare the medicines. Okay, syrups, and petroleum industry. It is also used in petroleum industries. So next separation method is simple distillation method. Okay, simple distillation method. In this method, we are going to separate out pure water from seawater. Okay, we are going to separate pure water from seawater. Okay, see, this is the this is not solvent extraction, simple distillation method picture. Okay, simple distillation method. So in this picture, see all of you, you know this is a condenser flask. Okay, or distillation flask. Okay, in this flask we have to take a seawater. Okay, when we heat this water, what will happen? Water will be boiled, right? So water will be boiled. The sea water contains, you know, it contains some salt and water. Okay, so the water will be boiled. So the vapors, water vapors will be comes out first, right? So that vapors will comes out through this condenser tube. This is a condenser tube. So in this tube contains two parts, that is inlet and outlet, inner tube and outer tube. See, inside tube is inner tube. Okay, so through this inner tube that vapors will be comes out. Okay, and the outer tube we filled with water. Why we are filling with water means to cool down that water vapor. Okay, so this water can cool this vapors. Okay, so when vapor cool, it will converted into liquid, right? So at cooling, that vapors will converted into liquid, and this liquid will be collected with another flask. Okay, this is a pure water. In this method, we are following simple distillation process. Okay, so mostly simple distillation means evaporation plus condensation. Evaporation means that vaporization, condensation cooling. Okay, these two processes only take place in simple distillation method. Okay, have you understood? So this much your test portion. So page number 113 to 118 your test portion. Okay, up to this much you study thoroughly, read everything line by line. You should read it. One more questions, whatever I taught, so from that portion only I took the questions. Okay, one mark, so you don't worry about that. study thoroughly, and whatever we marked book back question answer, that also you should learn. Okay, study well and write your exam well. Thank you so much.